Hello, beautiful people. I am excited to do something fun with y'all tonight. We're going to do contouring or shading because the term contouring seems to be so 5 years ago. You can call it whatever you want, but everybody's face needs a little bit of highlight and a little bit of shading. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm also going to do that pop of color on the eyes that we talked about 2 nights ago and kind of incorporate that into this as well, so I don't have just half a face. So everybody's kids should be back in school now, right? Hi Heather, your kid's not in school because she did the baby and a cute one. I miss you, girl. Hi Jamie. So my kids actually went back to school on Monday, which meant my husband's office was closed, so we had the whole day to ourselves and it was amazing. It was like one day of real vacation. So yes, thumbs up to that. It was awesome. So for those of you whose kids just went back today, cheers. So, that's a dirty glass. You don't notice these things until you see it from somebody else's perspective. Okay, so I'm going to start tonight with my primer spray because I made a resolution to stop forgetting the primer spray. It's going to flood my face with vitamins. Does not taste good. Keep your mouth shut while it's still flying around. And kind of prep your skin to make sure it's not too dry or too oily to receive the foundation. LimeLight makeup really works kind of as a system. That doesn't mean that you can't still use some of your old products. I certainly do, but it really works well together. These are products that professional makeup artists have used for years. It's nothing new. And they all blend together and they layer together extremely well. You might get lucky and have your concealer work really well with our foundation, but there's a good chance it won't. So it's kind of a slow building process if you can't just afford to buy it all, but you should start somewhere. So we're going to start with foundation, and I'm using my new Ricky Light tonight. I don't know why they call it the Ricky Light, but it's made by Glamcore, and I would show it to you, but I'm saving it for the video that I do where I show you how to set up your own vanity. Hi Christy. Hey Kim. Oh, this is awesome. I love that y'all are on already. Hi Jordan. Wow, two videos in a row for you. That's a big deal. My Ricky Light is made by Glamcore, which is a very well respected pro light company. It's actually a very small company. Erin, my friend and fellow makeup artist in Dallas, she actually knows the guy because she had a light from them in the past and something broke or she lost the cord or something, and she was able to call like the owner of the company and actually get a replacement. They were super nice. So I love that LimeLight has sought out the absolute best providers for the things that we offer. Again, not creating a whole lot of new stuff, but just going out and sourcing the very best. So I would love to know y'all's opinion on how this looks versus my ring light. I can't really tell. I can tell that I feel a little bit closer, but I'm not sure how the lighting is and how you guys are viewing it. So if there's any difference, let me know. If it's all the same to you and you really don't care and you want me to just get on with the show, just don't say anything because it's happening. Okay, number 5 brush. This is a flat top, kind of bristly brush, and it's going to put on a beautiful layer of foundation. I'm going to mix Ivory, let's see if we can get those in there, Ivory and Shinto 2, which are the only colors I think you need, unless you're super fair, like my friend Laura Johnson. Is she on here? And Jordan, you might also be, hey Marcy, a Gina beige. So lots of redness. I'm going to do one side first so you can kind of see what's going to happen here. Now my skin is fairly smooth because I'm using all of our skincare, and it's completely surprised me. I've used great skincare in the past. This is a whole nother level. Okay, so I'm just going in circles one way and in circles the other way. You can put this on, hi Holly. You can put this on as light as you want, or you can layer it up until you have the coverage that makes you happy. Okay, so you can see the color perfection. One makeup artist tip is that we don't use, well, I never used, can't say this for all makeup artists, I never used, you know, 15 different foundations. I used 3, and I could blend those 3 to create the right color for everyone. Oh, I miss your face too. Gosh, I love seeing, and your face has improved. Something's going on with you, Jordan. Your face is freaking awesome. Anyway, I only use 3 foundation colors, and I can blend those to match everyone. So what I would like for my clients to be able to do is to gain the confidence to mix your own foundation. So I like to sell these foundations as a set. You have a light one and you have a dark one. In the summer, you're probably going to use more of the dark. In the winter, more of the light. You get the idea. I don't think I need to explain that any further. All right, so look at that difference on my forehead. Lots of pigmentation here, perfection over here. Now this is going to be, we are going to focus on contour tonight, but I got to get a base down first. 4 liters of water every day. Really? You're not helping me sell makeup here, Jordan. Shut up about your water. But I'm going to start drinking it right away after I finish this bottle of wine. Okay, so I feel like I've got some pretty great coverage. I'm going to lower this just a bit. So my mirror has this magnetic thing on it that holds my phone, and I can tilt my phone. I can also adjust the lighting, and I can press a little Bluetooth button and take a picture like this without my finger reaching forward, which is really cool. This light is, it's been on back order forever. Like, the company keeps selling out of it and selling out of it. If you want one, let me know. But when I tell you the price, you're probably going to choke. And then you're going to see mine someday and you're going to be like, okay, fine, I have to have it. Once you touch it, you're like, game over. It's like an Apple product. Like, it's so, it's just sexy. Okay, more wine. And now we're going to highlight. So, because this is a highlighting, well, it's a contouring video, but the opposite of contouring is highlighting. And so you really have to work both together. If I just started contouring my face now, the results would be minimal. So anywhere you have something dark, you put something light on the other side, and that makes it that much more powerful. So makeup is all about the reflection of light off your face and the absorption of light into certain places. So you want light to absorb on things that are not your golden triangle. So focus should be on the eyes, but a little bit here on the nose and the mouth as well. But really there should be no attention drawn to your forehead line or the sides of your cheeks or even the bottom of your chin or any subsequent chins you may have. Okay, so that's kind of our goal. I'm going to use my fingers because this is a wax-based formula and it needs the warmth of your fingers. And I'm going to start here. And I am really I'm gonna layer this on and kind of leave it before I blend it in so you can see the pattern of where you're putting this product. So I'm gonna look a little crazy. I love it when people check in. Like last night I was doing a video just for my team and I had put a mask on and it had dried and my face was all cracky, and Erin came on and she was like, what the hell happened to your face? Like, surprise, I ruined it. Okay, so all the way down, and we want the same color of, we'll just call it white, here as here, okay? Not a lot of white here and just a little bit here, but all even right here, all the way across the bottom lashes. Okay, so it's gonna go there. Then, if you can brace your arm against your side, you want to make a straight line up and down your nose. I'm sorry that my finger looks so dirty. It is. I've been working with horses, so I'm just pretty much never clean. Even when I shower, it never comes clean. The little crevices. Okay, so we're going to put a white stripe right down the center of the nose. And you can just tailor it as needed. Be sure that you don't follow the shape of your nose. If your nose is a little bit crooked like mine, you want to make the line straight and not tend to follow the anatomy. Okay, so we have our white stripe. We're going to do 3 lines here. I'm just kind of digging into the product with one finger, smearing it on. We can always add more because this foundation is not set yet. It's very mobile. It's very creamy and blendable right now. So if I decide that's too dark or that's too light, I can always change it. So it really removes the fear of, you know, putting it on when you do like a liquid foundation and it kind of dries, you're sort of stuck with it. Okay, so we're going to go here and here and here and here. Okay, kind of your marionette lines, or where they would be if you don't have them, a little bit above the Cupid's bow. Across the chin. We're going to contour right under here, but we do want the chin to be quite a bit lighter. All right, and then I'm going to take both fingers and we're going to go below, right where your earlobe starts, toward your chin. And again, don't have to worry about making these lines perfect because this is all very blendable and you can perfect it as you blend it in. Now, do I do this every time? No, I have kind of figured out where I need it and I blend it in as I go. But you can absolutely do this until you kind of get the muscle memory down of where to highlight. And then you don't have to spend quite so much time thinking about it. Your brain just kind of knows what to do. Okay, now I'm taking a color that will freak out some of you. This is number 6. It's our darkest concealer, but it is also the perfect contour color. And it doesn't have any shine to it. So I'm going to warm it up. And I'm going to go here, here. And we could make this a little bit more of a perfect triangle. But again, you're going to end up blending it all in, so who cares? Just get it on there. And don't be afraid of it. I know it looks scary, right? Like how could this possibly turn out really good? Hey, Heather Henry. I bet you, I know you always say that you don't do beauty makeup. Heather is a somewhat famous horror makeup artist with this incredible line of masks, and if you're friends with her on Facebook, sometimes you just see a dead body on her countertop that she's working on. That's not a real dead body, but holy crap, it looks real. Hi, Brittany. All right, what I'm gonna do here, I got the sides of my nose. Nostrils stay off the plane of the face, okay? Only on the sides of the nose. Have y'all seen that meme where they, I think it's Amy Schuler's, like, got contour everywhere and says, like, when you lose your Wi-Fi signal in the middle of your contour video. Cracks me up. All right, so we're gonna do the hairline because there's just nothing sexy about that. Definitely not where we want focus. All right, under here. That's gonna make our lip look a little poutier. And then if you have anything down here that you need to get rid of, you can blend this down to your neck. and then usually put a little line down here to make it look a little bit more natural. Okay, so now we look completely ridiculous, and we're going to go in and blend it all out. So I'm going to take that same brush that I used earlier, number 5, and I'm just going to start working. I'm going to do the contour first, and then I'm going to kind of clean off my brush a little bit so it doesn't muddy the color of, or the highlight areas. So already starting to look much more realistic. I'll do half my face first. So I'm going to just clean this off on my towel and then kind of buff this out a little bit. And the touch is very light, so lots of friction, but very, very light pressure. You don't want to remove it. And anything I'm not happy with, I can just layer right over it. Need a little bit more highlight right there. Okay, do forehead. My hubs just said she is turning herself into the Tin Man. Well, if the Tin Man has a perfectly sculpted face, then yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. My friend Laura's husband, I mean, you know, we've met a couple of times. We've never had a lengthy conversation of any sort, but I was at her house recently and he was like, "Oh yeah, you're the one that does those tutorials, because I hear your voice a lot." He kind of said it like, really tired of hearing your voice. But I love that my friend is supporting me. Okay, so now I'm going to do my nose. Now, is this something I do every day? No, I don't even use this number 6 concealer every day. It's just not necessary. But if I'm having a picture taken, or there's a good reason for me to really want to sculpt my face, if I'm just going for a certain look, then this is just a little bit more effective than just using our bronzer to sort of highlight and shade. All right, get these lines down here. Cleaning off the brush. You could also do this with a foundation brush. You could apply this. I don't recommend applying our foundation with a foundation brush. As a matter of fact, I don't just not recommend it. I highly suggest that you not do that. It's not meant to be applied that way. Okay, I'm going to turn this light down just a little bit so you can see just a little bit better where everything is. Need to work on that a little bit. Okay. So we have exaggerated the natural shelf, sort of, that is created underneath the height of the cheekbone right here. So underneath that naturally is a shadow. We have highlighted the cheekbone here to make it look higher. We've highlighted underneath here to make this look more obvious. So we have light bouncing and light being absorbed. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit more right there. And so all that's left on your nose really is just kind of a thin white stripe down the middle. You want to kind of take away everything else if you're trying to make your nose smaller. Okay, so from here we can actually set this with our setting powder because we're pretty well done. So the setting powder is this white powder. You would typically think of a setting powder as a loose powder, but I love that it's pressed because it's much less messy. And we can layer it on under here, or we can kind of just brush it so it disappears. But I'm going to do a little bit of layering because we're going to do some mega eye makeup. And this is going to change the whole look. So it's going to create a veil that's going to make everything look even that much more seamless. So if any of you were thinking, oh, I'm not sure that looks that awesome, it's just going to get better and better. Trust me. I wouldn't be on here live if it wasn't. All right, just a little bit more under here to catch any residual eyeshadow that's going to fall. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit more of that No. 0 concealer, just a tiny bit, and I'm going to highlight this inside corner, but also use it as an eye primer. Okay, and you can see what a big difference that makes already. Okay, yes, I've got some powder on my nose. I'm going to leave that there so that it catches anything that I don't really want. All right, so now the fun begins. Later, we're going to add the bronzer, and you could have totally skipped all of this if you just wanted something a little bit faster, more of a natural look. Then just skip all of this and put a bronzing powder or a contouring powder in the same places where we put this. But this is how the pros do it, and we have the product available, and it's available to you for the first time ever, and so it's important that I show you how to use it. All right, I'm gonna take my No. 11 brush, which is this little guy here. It's pretty stiff, it's not real fluffy, and so it does a great job of placing and pressing in color. So the first step, I'm trying to decide if I should go with the pop of color first or the dark color first. You know what? We're going to go with the pop first, just in case any of you need to go to bed. I want you to be able to see this. So one of the safest places to put a crazy color, maybe you got some crazy color for Christmas. This is one of our Lottie palette. She's a famous pro artist. It's very difficult to see the colors in here. And we're going to put this right in the corner. And this makes me want to sing a George Strait song. Anyone know which one? All right. It's fairly safe, right? Not too crazy. As long as you keep it close to the corner and below the crease, you're pretty safe. Excuse me. So now I'm going to take black and I'm going to put that kind of everywhere else. I'm patting it on. This is called packing. So I'm not sweeping because that makes a big fat mess and it's not precise. This takes a little bit more time. And here's where you can decide, do you want to stretch your eye out further or do you want to keep it nice and close? For this particular look, I'm going to stretch it out a little bit further. And I'm just going to make a shape that kind of looks good. I don't want any dipping or anything over here. It needs to kind of curve up. Fill that in, and I'm going to reach down over there. Need a little bit more. This is a pretty bold look. But y'all asked for it. I'm gonna bring this down under here. But I'm not going on the inside membrane. You'll see what I'm gonna do later. Okay, so one of the complaints that I hear people say is that when they try to do a smoky eye, they end up just way too far out here. If you start where you don't want, so don't go past your end of your eyebrow. There's the tail of my brow right there. You don't want to go past that. So I'm almost as far as I can go and get away with it. Anything past that is definitely more of an editorial look, and probably not what any of you are going to be able to pull off at work. I could be wrong. Okay, so that has taken my eye. If you can see the difference, and it just makes the entire eye area look that much bigger. So we just faked it. It's like hanging curtains from the ceiling instead of from the top of the window. All right, now I'm going to do the other side, which is always so much harder. I'm going to start on the outside and then push in. That way I don't go too far. There's the tail of the brow. Oop, I'm really close to my limit there. And you want to judge this with your eyes open. If you're constantly judging like this and checking evenness, you're not going to even realize that when you look at yourself the way everyone else sees you, that it's completely different. You probably have one eye that's a little bigger than the other. You never want to, you know, complete the look like this. This is really messy right now, but we're going to make it much finer once we get the color laid on. Okay, yeah, that one, I'm just gonna push in a little bit there, and just a little bit, there we go. And then I'm gonna bring this down. And I'm not gonna go all the way yet. I may add some more later, but for right now, I'm just creating this outside corner. Now my brush really doesn't have much of anything left on it, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it off anyway on a dry towel. And then I'm going to go back and just kind of buff out the edges a little bit before I put on a transition color that's going to take us from the black to the brow. Just going to make it look a little bit smoother, a little cleaner. That's a little better, and it's going to just continue to get better with every layer that we do. Now, using a pop of color on your eyes does not mean that you have to, you know, do this crazy black drama. But I know that y'all love to see this, so. And it's fun to do, and not something I get to do just on an everyday basis, so. See, y'all love to see it. I love the hearts. Makes me so happy. All right, thank you, Dixie. Okay, so now we're kind of smoothed out and we're ready to transition from the black to the brow. And we need a transition color that is nice and safe. This is not where you want to add something funky. And so I'm going to use just my number 40, which is the same color I use on my brows. Just a tiny bit of it. It's a very strong pigmented color. And I'm going to lay that on in the exact shape that I want, because this brush is, oh, see, that's not the exact shape I want. See how that's poking up right there? We can fix that a couple of different ways. But one of the best ways to fix things is with a finger that's not been used. So just a dry finger and a little bit of pressure, and it pretty much goes away. You can still see it a little bit, but by the time we get done blending, it'll be gone. All right, over here. I wish I had some fake eyelashes to put on with this. It really needs it, but I don't. So my amazing mascara is gonna have to do the trick. Okay, so now I have the color where I want it. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of a fatter brush, this guy, and I'm gonna blend, and I'm just gonna go back and forth until that black and that brown are completely seamless. And you really can't tell where one stops and the other starts. You see the difference? This is why you need a brush set, so that you have the right brush for every single job. And yes, our brush set is pricey, but if you consider that it's 15 brushes, I don't know what $224 divided by 15 is. One of you math people should figure that out for me. But that's the average cost per brush. But if you were to go and buy a high quality brush of the same caliber, you would spend 36 bucks per brush. So those cheap brush sets that you get for 20 bucks are cheap for a reason. Okay, so now we kind of have the top done. We're gonna add some drama to the brow bone. I am gonna use not the number 41 that I usually use, but I'm instead going to search for, I don't know what color this is, but it's kind of the one that looks more like a bone white color instead of that pinky color that I usually use. I don't know why, just feeling it. Clean off my brush in case it picked up any of the dark. This is going to make the brow look cleaner. It's going to make it look like it sticks out further, which makes your face prettier by definition of curves and contour. We as humans tend to reward a certain ratio as beautiful. It's not fair, but that's just kind of what we recognize as pretty. So there's a little bit of a science to it. Now I'm seeing little spots in my black where it's just kind of gotten soaked in. So I'm going to go back and add a little bit more very carefully with my number 11. This is going to happen to some of you more than others. If you have oily eyelids, it's probably going to be, but it usually, whatever is going to disappear or fall away does so within the first few minutes, and then you can just go back and kind of touch up. But makeup isn't perfect. It is just a game of hide and seek. It's magic. Okay, ooh, we're up to 17 people now. Hey, Lori, you should do the math for me. Jordan's a brushaholic. What kind of brushes are you using, Jordan? Are they made of water? Do they make you skinny and beautiful? Mine do. Just kidding. Okay. A little bit more right there. Okay, it's filled in the holes that we had there. And now we're gonna work on the bottom. So I am gonna take my skinny little, one thing about this mirror is that the light is in my face and not in the background, so I really can't see anything past the mirror. So I'm gonna need to move everything. You know what, I'll just set it here. There we go. Smart. All right. So I'm going to take a liner brush and I'm going to put that blue on the waterline. Now, you could have left the top all black instead of putting the blue here and then just put the blue on the waterline. That is a very popular look right now where you only put color on the bottom. But I'm kind of just trying to show you as many places that are safe to put a bright color. A little bit in my eye, but that's okay. Jordan has all brands, but she wants a new complete set. You know, I can help you with that. It'll be the last set you ever buy. Okay, our brush set was designed by Kat Aragon, who is a pro artist. Okay, so now I'm going to go underneath that with the black. And now we are getting some mega drama. Clean off the brush and smudge it out a little bit. You definitely don't want a sharp line underneath. You need this to be, and you can even use a transition color under the black, like the brown that we used above, to kind of transition into the face. But the more harsh it is, the more focus you're taking away from your iris and putting on your lower lid. So I'll show you what a little bit of transition color looks like. I'm actually going to use this little terracotta color. And I'm just going to go over the bottom of the black. It's just a more flesh colored tone that makes such a dramatic eye look a little bit more appealing, and still keeps the focus. Now I'm going to brush off all of that. Still keeps the focus on the iris, which is the goal. I mean, your makeup can be your focus. That's kind of fun. But ultimately, you want people to be able to look into your eyes and look at you without being completely distracted by sharp lines and harsh things going on your face. Okay, so now I'm going to add the glitz. So I'm going to use my crystal color right in the corner and a little bit over that blue and pull it up just a tiny bit. Right there. And pull it up a little bit. Alright. I'm also going to take a little bit of that crystal color and put it right down. This is a tiny amount. Right down the center of my nose to make sure I have light bouncing right off the top, which is going to make it look more narrow. And now, Lord have mercy, we got to get some brows on this girl. There we go. This is the brush that I call my cheese slicer because it's so thin and amazing. So I'm going to use that number 40 color. And I'm going to go in here and kind of draw my bottom line, and then I'm going to push up. Now, some people draw the whole box and fill it in. It's just not my style, but you can certainly do that if you have the patience and the ability to make a straight line. All right, there's one. So much better. Oh, messed that up just a tad. Okay, then push up. If you're not getting this kind of effect from the brow powder that you're using, it's because it doesn't have enough pigment and it's not blendable. So don't get frustrated. just buy makeup from me. Now, this is bothering me. See, this looks like it's hanging down even more than it normally does. So I am going to fix that by putting a little bit more color on top of this. So this, this one always tends to just hang a little bit lower. So when I get my Botox, it'll be perfect. But until then, I'm going to take a tiny bit of black and I'm going to push this higher. Remember, I told you one eye is usually different than the other. So you may need to do something different to one to get them both to look the same when you're just looking at someone in the mirror. There we go. Now you can't even tell that that's hanging there. Y'all see the difference? Give me some hearts. Oh, brown to transition. Take my fat brush and blend it out. There we go. Now I got to do the same thing to the other one because I did such a good job on this one. This is one of the reasons you should not be afraid to push your boundaries. Like, push the shadow. I mean, if I told you I was going to put black eyeshadow all the way up to here, you would stop watching, or maybe you would keep watching in hopes that I would have some kind of Mariah Carey situation. But I keep telling you guys that you have to be unafraid and you have to practice. And perfect sits right next to disaster. So there we go. A little bit of brown to transition. And then I'm gonna blend. Different brush for each one of these things. Okay, yes, no more droopy lids. All gone. That's amazing. All right, so I'm gonna go back and bolden up my blue. Is that a word, bolden? It is now. Take this and just make it even more intense. Here we go. I was afraid of this look when I first started watching you, but I'm loving it now. Yeah, I mean, it always starts out really scary. Shush. But you have to trust the process. And you have to practice. I mean, don't do this, you know, when you have like 10 minutes before work or when you're getting ready to go out and you've already got, oh my word. Babe, can you help me out with the dog situation, please? All right, and then my eye has soaked up a little bit of the blue on the bottom. We'll add a little bit more. Always gets in my eyes. Okay, now we're gonna do something really fun. I learned this from Kendall Watts. Still a little stuffy from my cold, sorry. I need a drink of water. Because the dogs make me mad. Okay, we have a foundation color that was developed. Our foundations are made by RCMA, which is, again, a very small family-owned company that has been making foundation for a very long time that pros have used, and it has been available kind of like hair products are through Armstrong McCall to pro artists, but not available to the public. They developed the color used for Queen Amidala or whatever her name is in Star Wars, with the really white face, played by, somebody help me out here, I can never remember her name. So I'm going to use my foundation, concealer brush. And the color is called Porcelain. It is not the color of anyone's face. It's way too white for that. Sorry, no, I'm still getting used to this mirror. I'm gonna have to figure out how to accurately portray things other than my face. Okay, so I'm gonna go in just like it's concealer or a shadow, but it's a wax, and so it's gonna have a different texture. And I'm gonna put that right here. I'm gonna leave it before I blend it in. Right here. right a little bit right here. And this is furthering our contour. So highlighting is just making contour that much more obvious. Our brows are contoured. They're dark. And I may have to go back and clean that up a little bit, but the point is that if you sandwich it, you're gonna get a bigger, punchier effect. And if you look really closely in magazines and in pictures on Pinterest of makeup stuff that you see, so much of that, y'all, is just completely airbrushed or, you know, glossed over. It's not real. But if you look really closely in a lot of it, you'll see a little white stripe right below their brows. If you do it right, it doesn't draw attention away. I'm kind of blending this in a little. And just bringing light to this area right here. Make that inside corner just look a little bit more sharp. All right, I'm starting to lose y'all. I'll hurry up. I'm just gonna use my finger to blend. Oh, that one's gonna require a little bit. Sorry, runny nose. Are y'all all sick right now too? Like everyone I know is miserable. Okay, there we go. So let me brighten, and there we go, a little darker. Okay, I can also take and put this on my inside waterline to make that blue a little bit brighter. White always makes things look brighter. There we go. All right. Okay, so everything is in place for me to finish the job. I set it with powder. I'm gonna just brush over one more time with the setting powder, making it completely waterproof, and now it can no longer be adjusted or moved. It's totally and completely sweat-proof, cry-proof, waterproof. I actually took a shower the other day and I couldn't get it off even with my fingers. I had to use makeup remover. So now the bronzer, I'm gonna just put a light little touch over the place where I contoured. And it's gonna make it look a little bit more alive. All right, I'm going to take our eyeliner pen and give myself a nice dark lash line. And I'm going to go up underneath. Probably going to poke myself in the eye. Yep, every time. There we go. This is going to make your mascara look thicker. And when your mascara is nice and thick, Even if you don't do the winged eyeliner, you want this thing. I promise you. It's amazing. All right. Got a tiny bit out of control right there. That's what this is for. Concealer brush that I never use for concealer, but I always use for removing things. Okay, mascara. We just got new packaging for our mascara. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be out, but I really can't wait because I feel like this looks like that Prescriptives brand. And it's kind of plain and, well, there we go. Still wet. I should have let it dry. We go toward the nose to remove, not away. Alright, that removed most of it, and then what I need to fix that completely is just a tad more of the blue. Voila! Alright, so tips first. This is the new Elizabeth method. I just learned this. I don't know why it works so well. Ginger has a theory. Maybe she can explain it again. And then I'm going to go back in and start at the base. And with so much dark eyeshadow, you're not going to see a whole lot of my lashes until you see a profile picture. So this is kind of a boring step because you're not going to see a lot of this. Hi Eden, how do I know you? Or do I? Charlotte has been doing her makeup like this too, or her mascara like this too, and noticing a difference. It's enough of a difference that it's worth changing my habit for. I'll just put it that way. Tips first. Just find them. You can do this without even looking really. You just find the tips and rub back and forth. This mascara does not flake. It is as waterproof as it needs to be. It's not a waterproof formula by definition because those suck. And while they stay on a long time, they do not allow your lashes to flex or to move, and it makes them brittle. And you'll end up losing them. So stop. Just stop. Sorry. I'm pretty passionate about that. Alright, for the bottom lashes, I'm going to take my liner brush, clean it off. It's got a little bit of blue. I'm going to pull some of this off of here and go back and forth on these little guys because this wand is way too intense. And if I had some big fake lashes, they would sure be awesome right now. But you can see your bottom lashes, all they need to be is black. They don't need to be super long, super thick. They just need to not reflect light. And they certainly shouldn't distract from anything else. There we go. Okay, lips. What color should I do? Any requests? Is this a cupcake kind of look? I think it is. What do y'all think? Cupcake or like a nude? That's either gonna, cupcake is like as pink can get. So thanks, Christy. Creating a nice waxy border. Has nothing to do with the color, it's just the texture that I need. And you know what I forgot? I forgot blush. We need blush. Oh, and we need this magic stuff that I have, this shimmery number 6 stuff. I always forget about this. See that sheen? Oh yeah, baby. All right, and a little bit of color with this brush. Most of it is here, then you can sweep up a little bit if you feel like you need to. If you don't make the cheesy grin, there's a good chance you're going to do it too low and your face is going to look droopy. All right, pink is life. Jordan says pink. What is the brand of this makeup? It is LimeLight by Alcone. Alcone is a pro company that's been around for a long time. That's the parent company. And they took all of their best sellers that makeup artists have been using forever and created them, see, I can't see a darn thing, in a new package available to the public through makeup artists and people willing to educate themselves to teach other people how to use it, because it does take a little bit of practice. Okay, what color blush is that? Christy, that was number 4. It's the only blush. It's not true. There's a few others that I like, but that's the one I really, really love. Hey, Honor, you missed all the fun. You should have seen my face earlier. You should go back and watch the replay. I looked ridiculous. But this is what I end up looking like, which, how can you complain? Okay, lip brush. This thing does a pretty good job, but this does a much better job. And you cannot mess around with your lips. Look at that color. Hot mama. You don't have number 4? I think I have like 5 of them. I can send you one. Because this is a matte color, we can fudge a little bit and push the border. Hey babe, now they want back in. Whoa! Okay, not sure how I feel about that, Jordan. It'd probably look amazing on you. I feel like I need some really crazy earrings, which, you know what? That makes it all better, honestly. Earrings are very important. Let me tell y'all my earring lesson. Thank you, Jamie, you're sweet. Okay, so earrings are not just about jewelry for the ears, but color finds color, light finds light and dark finds dark, or shadows find shadows. So when you're looking at something, you tend to, yes, I agree, Jordan. It is good to be bold. And that's what this year is all about for me. I'm just going to do things I would never in a million years do. So earrings are going to help find color. So when your eyes see it twice, it becomes that much more impactful. One of the reasons in bridal makeup that I've always suggested wearing pearls is because they are completely round, which means the apex of every curve, which is everywhere, reflects a point of light. And that point of light reads white, as does the whites of your eyes and your teeth. So you have a triangulation of white instead of just two whites. So the more whites you have, the brighter they look and the more obvious they are. That was way too much science for y'all. I apologize. All right, so now we need some hair. Okay, it's about as much as I'm going to be able to do with only a comb. Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm going to take a picture and post it. Thank y'all so much for watching. You're so sweet. I love that y'all enjoy this because I think it's kind of silly, honestly, because it's me. Of course, I love watching other people do it, but I so appreciate you all. So private message me if you have any questions about products or just want to chat. So I love you all, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.